Hi, and welcome to another weekly analysis video. Carried over from the previous week, my long position on Aussie USD is still open. Right now the trade is about 1/3 on its way to target, and all I do now is just to wait it out. Let's see what happens. First currency pair I'm looking at is Euro Japanese Yen. What this pair has done last week is that it broke below a key support level at 124.70. So we've got a test of this level, there was a reversal, a second push down, and this one managed to break. My definition of a break is a daily close below this level, so below the line that I drew, and right now there is a pullback to it. Yesterday was a pullback, but price couldn't close above that. Right now, so far this morning, it had tried to push up again, but unable to do so. So what I'm going to be watching for is I'm going to be looking for opportunities to short. And the way I'm going to do it is to go into the smaller time frame. So this is on the daily chart. I'm going to mark down a level where I like to see break. So this is the low of Friday's candle. I would go down to smaller time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, and I will be looking for a break. So right now on the 1 hour chart, there is a bit of a push up, perhaps possibly to retest this level again. So looking to see how price react today. If it does go up, that might be a good opportunity for me to short. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna wait it out and see if price can actually break this level here. That will be a key for me. So let's say in the next couple of days it might do that, and then I see a break. This is confirmation. This is what I'm going to be looking for. Once that breaks happen, I would then be looking for an ever small pullback, and that is the place ideally I'm going to be shorting from. So two possible scenarios for this pair that I could trade. One is another retest of 124.70. Two is a break below Friday's low. So let's see what happens. EURUSD. So for now, I'm just going to remove the trend line. They are not a main part of my analysis. I like to draw them in. So what do we have? We've got a breakout which happened on Wednesday, Thursdays and Friday. There was a pullback. Price couldn't close below this level. So right now, in my opinion, it is still acting as support. And when price is a support, I am going to be looking for opportunities to go long. Yesterday's candle unfortunately doesn't tell me much. So the plan is to continue watching this on the smaller time frame. So let's say 4 hour or even 1 hour. And for me to consider a long position, I first need to see a new high. So yesterday had a high. Right now I want to see price breaking that. So ideally this is what I like to see. So a break, and a rather strong break of that. If that happens, then I would be then looking for opportunities to go long. I don't exactly have a plan right now. I always like to do it on a pullback, but I need to see how this move happens, if it does happen, before I can plan the rest of the trades. So right now it's just to sit tight, to wait and see if price can actually break yesterday's high. If buyers can do that, then at least it shows me that there is intention from buyers to continue pushing this pair up higher. British pound Australian dollar. Now, interesting pair. What this has done, and I've been tracking this for 6 to 7 weeks now, it has put in a series of higher highs and higher lows. So we've got, and possibly one from last week, and higher highs as well. So the pattern has been going for quite some time, and if it does continue, then possibly we might see a push up to this resistance level here. I have it at 1.9040. If that does happen, then this will be a good place for me to be looking for short. So if that does happen, I might look for signs of indecision and look for an opportunity to go short. Now, putting this trend line in place, when I'm setting a target, if this scenario does in fact come about, I'm going to extend this trend line. And I need to keep this trend line in mind whenever I'm setting a target. Normally, I don't use trend line for my trading decision. However, this is an exception because this pattern has held on for so long. I think the significance of it needs to be taken into consideration. So this is what I'm going to be doing. If it does in fact push up, gets to resistance, and I can see signs of indecision, a reversal trade may unfold here, and that would be where I'm looking to short. Next would be British pound Japanese yen. At least for this pair, price action has been relatively clean, so it's a lot easier to be planning on my course of action. So we had a push above this support level 144.80. We had a bounce back, came up again, came back down, and last week price did manage to push under it but not able to close below it. So right now 144.80 is acting as support, and I'm going to be looking for opportunities to enter long. So we'll be doing that on a smaller time frame. First of all, I like to mark in the significant level that I like to see break. So we're talking around about 145.85. That's the key level. And on a smaller time frame, you can see that this has sort of become a range. Perhaps price will be trapped here for a while. If it does indeed, then it could be a very small time frame trade that I do. So we have bottom of the range, possible top of the range if it does come up and it managed to bounce again. That could be a trade right there. If price managed to break the top of the channel, then that will be the first sign I'm looking for. Then I would like to enter on a pullback before price continue upwards. So this is the key area for me. Need to see a break. Once I see that, I will be putting in a buy order. So two possible scenarios that I could be trading this pair over the next couple of days. Last but not least is the stock indices. So I've been talking about the HK50 and the SP500 for several weeks now, and things have become more and more interesting, and I would say more and more difficult to trade as well. So right now we're looking at the HK50 on the weekly chart, and what has happened last week, the last couple of weeks, is this. So we had price pushing up, it had one rejection at 29115, straight away pushed back. Last week it managed to push above it during the week, however unable to do so and close below that. So at least on a weekly time frame, I can say that the level I marked down is still holding as a resistance. And what has happened this week so far is that it managed to close as a gap. It was a gap down. The gap has been closed, and right now, as much as I like to enter short, I find it a little bit difficult to find a good entry and a good stop. So I'm going to be just watching this to see how it unfolds. What I like to see is, for a short case to be made again, I want to see price actually breaking the low that it was set a couple of weeks back. We go down to a daily chart for more clarity. So here's the picture at the moment, and the situation that would entice me to be looking for a short is if sellers manage to break this level and do so convincingly, then it would just be a case of looking for a pullback to fill my sell limit order, hopefully before price continues. So what I'm drawing is the ideal scenario that I would be looking to trade. It may not happen this way, most of the time it doesn't happen this way, but I'm prepared, and I know when I see what I'm looking for, I will be putting on a trade, and this is the way that it needs to unfold before I can trade at. And last but not least is the ever popular S&P 500. We have a look on the weekly chart and we can see something a little bit interesting, perhaps a little bit more convincing for the bears, but I don't really have a side, I'm just trading price action. We've got a strong push up, a small rejection, another push up. This one managed to break above that. So last week I was looking for opportunities to go long. There was, but unfortunately I wasn't able to trade that. The weekly candle, however, closed as what I would call a bearish indecision candle. It's this candle here. And so far this week, sellers have managed to push down and make a lower low. My sentiment to trade this has changed again. I am now looking for short setups, and that's because on the weekly time frame it shows me that there is still a lot of resistance at 2816. So the way I'm going to do it is I'll be looking on the daily chart at first. There's a couple of things I like to see. Simply because buyers has been very strong, I want to see more convincing sign that sellers are able to take over and perhaps push price down. I would like to see a couple of bearish candles that closes well below 2816. So let's say, for example, if today's candle closed like this, bearish, and tomorrow's candle close another bearish candle, then that would be good in my case, because that is giving me more evidence to be considering a short. To actually enter the short though, once again, I'm going to have to wait and see if the low that was set a couple weeks back, if this low here at 2722 can be broken. And if it can, that will be the final confirmation that I need. So let's say if price does something like that, breaks that, I'll be looking for a pullback in order to enter short. This is key. That's where I'm going to be executing my trade. So interesting time in the market, not easy to trade, but interesting nevertheless, because I can see that some of these patterns that I'm looking for is beginning to unfold on the larger time frames at least. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.